Hey guys, I have made myself a Robby Roto CPU PCB schematic, and this schematic is actually good for all of the Astrocade boards because they all use the same CPU board, I believe. So here's your color transistors, or your video, they're not color, video transistors. It makes video, BY and RY off of these guys here, but you'll see those signals come from U15 custom. They come from this guy, which is kind of scary. That's a little alarming. So I'm going to remove this chip, and I'm just going to beep out and make sure that these traces are good, because I did replace these sockets. So I'm going to check my work, make sure there's no shorts, and that the the continuity is where it needs to be. And if it's looking good, if my work's looking good, then I'm going to pop the other custom from the other board in here and see what it looks like on the screen, and hopefully it still looks bad. So I'm going to put this guy up here on this. Oops. And we'll kind of move it over a little bit. And we'll do this a little bit. There we go. So I'm just going to kind of take this board out of here and do a little good old-fashioned beeping out. Let's remove this very carefully. Just like that. And I got the schematic right in front of me, and I will start beeping. Okay, it's the base goes to these guys. Q6. The base of Q6. Pin 20, and hopefully only pin 20. Okay, make sure nothing else is shorted. Looks like the collectors are all grounded. There's a common collector. So these are common collector is either a voltage amp or a current amp. I can't remember. I'd have to break out the books. So it's not being used. They're not being used in the regular fashion. Common emitter. Q7 goes to 22. That's good. And Q8 24. Okay. Looks good. Emitters are where the signal comes off. Actually, no. No. These are being used as a switch. These aren't used as an amplifier. The video signals are coming in. It grounds the video signals. It grounds the video signals. Yeah, because I just realized these are PNP. These are not NPN. This is an incoming current on these video signals. An incoming current depending on what's coming out of this custom will ground the video signals. So one of the video signals is not being grounded is probably what's happening. That could be this custom chip not outputting a low signal to cause this transistor to turn on. Or it could be the video signals coming in which are always low. That would be weird though. Oh boy. Or maybe these transistors, one of the transistor could be bad. Yeah. This is being used as a switch, not an amplifier at all. Okay. Well, I'm going to, it'll eliminate a lot if I just put the other custom chip on here and plug it in and hook it up and see what it looks like. If it looks good, if this is bad, God, I hope this isn't bad. But if this isn't outputting a low signal, then these transistors will not turn on. If this is staying at high voltage, high level, out of the custom chip, these transistors will never turn on, and it'll never ground out those video outputs and pull them low, which I'm guessing would just black the video. Not exactly sure, but that's kind of how I'm seeing that. Yeah. So let's do that. Let's pull the other data custom and hope that we still have the bad colors. Grab the other board. Okay, grab my known good. This one is known good. Okay, we know that guy is good to go. Put my little support here. Let's plug this guy in. And grab the harness. I gotta plug in. I just want to plug in the video part of the harness. I don't care about anything else. And is this the video part of the harness? Yes. Okay, it goes right here. Okay, yeah, I don't need this. Okay, ready. Let's fire. I gotta turn on the, plug in this monitor. And go ahead and turn this on. see what it looks like. Robby Roto is up, and it is still bad. It's still not right. There's like still no green. And that is good. Because I believe that the green signal is carried with the video signal. The video signal, I believe, carries green. I think. And then RY carries the red signal, and BY carries the blue signal, is what I think, how I think this works. I think that the video signal carries both your green and your sync, I think, is what it is. And then it goes to that board, and it separates it all into RGB and sync, I think, is how it works. Because you notice that RY and BY is not used in the black and white monitor. It's only using the video signal, which is the green probably acts as the video for the black and white along with sync. That's kind of what I think. But yep, there's still no green, so that tells me that it's still not right, which is good. That's good. That means that our custom chip is good. So let's go ahead and turn it off. So this one has a problem. That one. This is my Wizard of War board. I'm going to get them confused. So this board is probably good. I don't know. Which, you know what I can do? Let's do this. I'm going to put my... I know my Wizard of War board is good. So it is this, it's this board. It's got to be, I bet you it's the transistors. Because they don't do anything else. Unless there's some control logic to this that it might be bad. But let's do this for the last time. This is the last time I'm messing with swapping these customs. I will not swap these again. Okay. And that's mine. Yeah, because my Wizard of War board, I know, gives me the proper colors, so it's got to be the computer board. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. I can just go ahead and pop this guy in there. Fire it up. And I got the proper colors. There's some weirdness going on over there. I hope that's just this thing not being seated good. Okay, developing some weirdness. That just looks like connection issues somehow. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, you get out of there. Let's put this guy back in. The colors are now correct. With his board. Why is that? Okay. All right. It's connections. It looks like it's connection issues. It's very strange. I don't know. Let's remove this extender card. Let's remove this guy. Put this board in there. That's the original Robby Roto CPU board. Good RAMs. Oh. J1 and J2. J3. And now it's back to not looking right. What is it? Why? There it is. I don't know. It's extremely strange. It looked like it was working. I don't know what's going on. It did work with this, with the extender. I'm going to cut away for a little bit and kind of just monkey around with these boards a little bit. Well, I have found the problem after replacing those transistors. And those are RF transistors. These aren't the right thing, you know. So I'm gonna, I mean, they work, it works, but it kind of bothers me that it's not the right thing. But I found the problem. It's this board. It's the edge on this board. You see what I'm doing is I can just kind of go like this to the board, move it. So I'm going to turn it off. We're going to have to recondition this, look at and recondition this bottom, the card edge. There's something funky about the card edge. So let me take care of that. Get to looking at it anyway. That's the problem. So I am going to have to do repair on that. When I knew this was like this, but for some reason I was thinking that this was to the other side through the through hole here, and it was like a wraparound type deal. So I figured, well, it'll just, if it's not connected on this side, it'll connect on the other side. Wrong. That's the problem. So I got to do something about this, because all that, it's all flaked and oxidized and stuff, and it's just no good. So I'm gonna have to figure out a fix for that. All those guys right there. That is the problem. Alright, I tried a nice brass wheel on that. I had to get more aggressive and get this guy, the round sanding wheel, and it really cleaned it up. I didn't want to have to do that, but that stuff was just so on there. So that should clean it up to where it should have a really good solid connection now. And that should fix our color issues. So let's plug it in and see. Okay, we're back together now after cleaning, sanding that bottom row lightly. I did it lightly just to get that stuff off. And we're back together. And our colors are now perfect. That was just a bad connection. What? What is it? Somebody has joined me. Okay, so that solves the problem with the, whatchamacallit, the CPU board. CPU board is good to go. So we can move on and do RAM cards. We'll start testing RAM boards, because I did order all of that CMOS stuff. I ordered every bit of it that I need for that pattern board. Got it all coming in, so that will probably be a week before I see that. Maybe less. But so with this board set, all we have left to do is the we got to fix there was a problem with the left, going left. That issue, heck, let's fix that first. All of the controls, the direction, let's fix that. So that is on the game PCB. So let's take a look at it. Well, I got some good news and some not so good, not new news anyway. The problem with not being able to turn left was the same thing. It was the bottom edge. I had to clean the bottom edge, and then it works. Works perfect now, all the controls and everything. And because of that, I was like, well, maybe the Astrocade chip is okay. It just wasn't getting a signal through. And I put the red dot Astrocade chip back in it, and it still doesn't work. This is it's on channel 2 right now. This is basically channel 1. This is channel 2. Channel 1, channel 2. And this also obviously does all of the controls, because with this setup like this, it's playable. I'll show you. Let me put the camera up on the stand. And go up. And just leave it right here a little bit like that. Come in here, get right in your way maybe. Oh yeah, that's right in your way. Okay. You'll see. I'll try to stay out of the way. Coin up, and I'll start. There's just no sound on channel 2, but it is playable with the bad Astrocade chip. It's trying, you can hear it popping. You go to channel 1. Channel 1 is good. If I can get on it. It's playable. Anyway, yes, it's playable like that, but it's just, and it'll run, it'll boot, so that's good actually. I can just put my Astrocade chip back in my game, back in Wizard of War. I don't have to worry about swapping that stuff around anymore. This will run just fine with his Astrocade chip in it, even though it's no good. There's just no sound on channel 2. Okay. Alright, so we will move on to, I wonder what, I'm going to look at the bottom edges of his other boards and see what they look like. What if they just need to be cleaned up and for the thing to work? We'll see. Well, guess what, guys? His pattern board, the original one that was bad, is in the cage right now. Looks good to me. That bottom edge was terrible. So I just used this thing on it, and it's in there, good to go, cleaned it up. So I think I'll look at his RAM cards. Okay, so I have tested. I have one of my good Wizard of War RAM card here, and this is a Robby Roto one. And I've tested both of them in this slot, and they both do have at least one bad RAM. It looks like both of them just have one bad RAM. Like this one right here displays like this, with bars like this. And the other one displays with bars just in where it says Roto. Only in that red where it says Roto, you can see the bars. And then you don't see the bars here. It's like this one is the character or something like that, and I don't know. But yeah. They both definitely probably only have one bad RAM apiece, is what I'm thinking. Because that's probably one bad RAM causing that, I would think. Any more than that, any more than one bad RAM is going to cause more issues than that. And both of them are pretty much the same thing, just lines. I'll show you what the other one looks like. This is what this card looks like. And we'll come over here. I'll put you up on this guy. Okay, we'll switch this off. Pull out the Robby Roto RAM card. And I did the same treatment. And that plating is what the problem was. The plating was flaking, and it was like turning black underneath the plating. So I had to remove all of the plating. What I'm going to do when I'm done with this board set is I'm going to plate all of these with solder. I'm going to solder all of these pads and like wipe it off so that they're plated, silver plated with solder on every one of these. Because you don't want to leave them just bare copper, because copper will tarnish. So you have to, I'm going to plate over those with solder. So, we'll put this guy in there now. Okay, switch it on. And you'll see what this one does. We'll go over and take a look. And you'll see it's like inside of the R, the O, the T, and the O. You'll see the bars. See those lines? That is just one bad RAM, is all that is. So it looks like both these cards have one bad chip. Yeah, it's like, okay, one of those cards is for sprites and one of those cards is for characters, and both of them have one bad chip on them. And you can see where the sprites, you can see where the lines are through the sprites. It's like wherever the sprites are supposed to be placed when they're moving objects, the lines that, you know, that's supposed to be, those lines are supposed to be zeroed out to where it's just black, you know, to where the color goes there, but it's not working that way. There's actual stripes going through there. That's hard to explain, but you can kind of visualize what's going on. Like the screen is laid out in RAM, and then it's spit out to the screen, and every little 8 by or whatever block, pixel block, has a color information. It picks up a color and takes it out to the screen. And every so often there's just a line. The data is not making it out to the screen. So it looks like one RAM on each card, and that should be very easy to find. So what we'll do is I will lay this down. I'll use my RAM extender, and I'll extend the RAM card out, and we'll probe the outputs of every RAM until we find one that just doesn't look right. And that's how we'll find it, and we will be done with this board set. Other than I'm going to plate all of the pads with a super thin, just a wiping of solder, just to cover up that copper. And this baby will be done. These boards will be done. So, all right, that'll be next. RAM. Okay, we are going to test some RAMs. We got to find that one bad RAM on this board. Hook my scope up correctly. I believe it's just one bad RAM on this guy. So we're going to probe the outputs on pin 14. That's what we're going to do. See if we can't find something funky. Alright. It looks okay. And that's 15, 14. You know what we can do is we can do single shot and then do pin 14. And that doesn't do it justice. You see how it's high? It's like that. It's good to go. It's all right. That one's good to go. They should all look like that on pin 14. 14 is the output. There it is. I think that's our funky boy right there. That's it. Let's keep going though. And I think it was this one. That's it. That's our bad RAM right there. It's just never high. It's never looking like the others. It's like, which one doesn't fit here? We're going to red dot that guy. That's our boy. Let's turn it off. Okay, system is off. Remove this RAM card, and I'm going to put the other RAM card in. I've got one good RAM card in this board from my Wizard of War, and I'm just looking at the bad ones. So now we will check this one out. Fire it back up. Yep. Now let's look at these. Pin 14. Okay. Looking good. Looking alright. We're playing which one doesn't fit. Oops. I kind of don't like this one. I think this might be our funky one, maybe. Let me see if any of these just go high and stay high at any point in time, because that other one does. I think we found our bad RAM, but I just want to see during any point in time if any of these go high and stay high. When you're looking at these outputs, you're just playing which one of these is different, because they all should pretty much look about the same because they behave the same. This guy right here is the bad chip. See that? See how it's just going high like that and freaking out? Yep, see that? That is our guy. That is the one I'm going to replace. Shut her down. Okay, we are off. Let's remove the card. And let's back her up. Thank you, Mr. Scope. Okay. This is turned off. Let's go ahead and just turn the scope off. We don't need it anymore. Time being. Okay, get this guy out of the way. Doesn't need to be up here. Just kind of hang him right here. Now let's take these and kind of whip it like this. Set it up. Get this stuff out of the way a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and remove my extender, my RAM extender. And I'm going to remove the Wizard of War RAM card and put it back in Wizard of War. Thank you. Well, I tell you, having that board set, and I bought that Wizard of War board set really just for this, to be able to use it to help me troubleshoot and diagnose and repair other board sets. So it's incredible to have such a good resource, a good tool, is a good working Wizard of War set is an absolute great tool. So we got a RAM here, we got a RAM here that we're going to replace. the reason why I knew really that it was only 1 RAM per card, and I went over that, it's what it was displaying, how it was behaving. It just had, you could see everything fine. It was just lines. That just screamed 1 RAM chip to me. 1 funky RAM. So I'm going to let this guy heat up for about 5 minutes, guys, and you know what I can do while that's heating up is I'm going to plate these with solder. That's what I'm going to do. Because that needs to be done. Oops, I want a different tip. I want one of these tips. Certainly I got a better one than that. That guy right there is perfect. Okay. Heat it up. First thing I'm going to do is just solder them. Kind of fill it with solder. Okay. We can get a pretty good tinning like this. I need a little rag. So let me find a rag. You be quiet. Okay, I got a little rag. And just wiping it off. And you have to have something on there to hold it. Air compressor. There. That's all I'm trying to do is put a little plating of solder on it. Just a nice little plating. I'm going to do that with all of the boards. All of them. So I will go ahead, I'm going to plate the other one, and then I'm going to replace these rams, and I'll be right back for the fire up. Okay, and here are our two RAM cards. Here's the socket for this one and the socket for this one. And our plated edge connectors. Very nice. Just coated with solder. This one came out a little better than this one, but they are both okie dokie. Not going to ruin the connectors in there because they are wiped right down to the surface. So I'll grab a couple 4027 RAMs, pop those in there, get that all populated. 4027. Easy. Okay. And one for you. And one for you. And put these guys in here. Alright. And we'll plug this in. And this is good to go. It's good to go. Monitor is plugged in, so let's fire it up. See how we're looking. Ooh, it looks good. It looks good. It looks perfect. Success. No lines. Robby Roto. No lines at all. It's looking perfect. Yay. Success. Heck yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod. We're going to play some Robby Roto. What I am going to do with this board set is I will remove these four boards, the four larger boards, and I will solder tin all of those copper edges, just like I did the RAMs. I'm not going to film that. I'm going to end this video here. This video is done. This thing is repaired. The only thing is this Astrocade chip. He's going to have to find another one because channel 2 has no sound. And there's nothing I can do about that. So, but as you can see, it is working, and you do have sound on channel 1. You're just going to be missing all of the sound effects and stuff like that. So, which is a bummer, but I've done all I can. So I'm going to set this thing up on the tripod up in front of the monitor and play a game of Robby Roto to finish this one out, and then we will do a recap because this was a pretty long one. Be right back. Here we go. Coin drop. I'm going to turn it up a smidge. Pretty cool. Robby Roto. All right, let's do our recap. She loves me. All right, Robby Roto. What was the deal with this guy? It showed up and was dead. Remember, the ROM, the memory board was a mess. The same way to be expected. Upon first firing it up, the pattern board did not work. The CPU board did work, and then it didn't, and then it did. It was an intermittent problem with the edge. With the colors would go weird. The game PCB, other than one Astrocade chip, was good. But it had to eliminate, process of elimination, had a bad Astrocade chip. RAMs, I tested those in my Wizard of War, and both of them were bad. They were really jacked up at first. The edges were terrible, and I got same thing with the pattern board. The pattern board came up absolutely terrible until I cleaned that bottom edge. So that's something to look out for on these board sets. Is the it looks like there's two layers of plating on the edge, and someone had commented that it's a nickel plating and then gold plating on top of it. And that nickel plating was super tarnished. That's what it was the nickel plating was really tarnished, but I was able to sand it right off, right down to copper. Now, of course, you don't want to leave just copper traces on there like that. You know, you want to cover those up. You don't want those tarnishing, because that'll mess with the connections, the interconnect. I don't so much worry about it when I sand the board and there's copper showing, because that doesn't, if that was tarnished, it's still going to carry a connection, like on a trace. But where you've got 2 points coming together, I don't like that tarnishing. So if you do that when you have copper exposed like that, you want to tin it with some solder. Just tin it like I did, like I showed. Tin it and wipe it off. You know, wipe it off nice like that, and that'll put a good layer of, you know, tin, solder tin. So that was that, and the pattern board was fine after that. After sanding off that garbage tarnish. And also, the thing wouldn't turn left. And that turned out to be also the bottom edge on the game PCB. I took care of that, sanded that down. I've yet to plate all those. I got to plate all of those, which I will do, but not tonight. I'll do that tomorrow. RAM turned out, after I cleaned off the bottom edge, I could get, you know, a steady connection and find out what was really wrong with them. And it turned out it was just one RAM per board. And to me, the easiest way to find those, one, you'd need to have one of those extenders. And just probe the outputs. Those things are pretty predictable when they go bad. When they go bad, they either will short right to ground, or the outputs just go goofy. So you look for a funky output. You know, no big deal. And boom, there it is. It works perfect. Minus channel 2 sound, which it's playable. It just doesn't have channel 2 sounds. So, yeah. So I think that's going to do it, guys. Be sure and visit me on Patreon. Simple. Patreon.com/Classic Arcade Repairs, no spaces. And yeah, check me out there. I do a little bit of exclusive stuff on there, and it's a new thing. Hoping to grow that. So check me out there. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And we will see you on the next repair video. Thank you.